Happy birthday.
Thanks! This is a poem about my grandma, who, growing up, I just thought she was a bitch. Turns out she had a hard life. That's officially my bad. That wasn't that much of a joke. I was being serious. So, this is, and she also, like, she didn't hug. Like, we would come over, and I'm used to my parents who, like, hug me for, like, walking in the door, not falling. And, like, my grandma, like, I literally remember, like, hey, Grandma, and I was, like, maybe 10, and she was like, what do you want? Like, not a hugger. Not a hugger. So that's weird. But this is for her. I remember growing up that my grandmother, a cold bird, whose motherboard I often looked for because someone that emotionally distant could to an 8-year-old only logically be a robot. I remember that cold woman would weep in church. And when I say weep, I mean like Mary Magdalene wept for Christ. I mean a deep, shoulder-shaking, snot-bubble-blowing cry coming from a place so much deeper that my life didn't turn out the way I thought it would. It wasn't until I was a teenager that I got ballsy enough to, under the guise of concern, ask my grandmother why she wept, to which she said, if you can't cry in church, where can you? And that was when I first began to understand the gift of space. Now, I love hugs. I consider myself to be a professional hugger, a grand connoisseur of hugs. I will call a mulligan mid-hug if I feel it's not up to muster. A hug is a gift of space. A hug means being given the space to be who you are, flawed and broken though you may be, and be held as that small, weak, fragile human being, like a child. You see, a hug is a church unto itself. And even if she couldn't give one, my grandmother received a hug every time she knelt in that pew. And I don't know if she even believed in God as much as she needed the space to come and be held. Now, my friends, I tell you about my grandmother and her broken heart and her cold eyes, simply to ask that when you hug, mean it. It's not silly or trivial to understand the sanctity of the space that you hold before you. When you hug, realize that your arms may be the alternative to joining a religion you don't believe in, just so that you can have a place to matter. When you hug, know that what you are doing is the socially acceptable form of taking another person into your lap, wrapping your arms around them and telling them that just as they are enough. That is not trivial. Please, when you hug, mean it.